Hi, I'm Elizabeth.
And I'm Cindy.
And we're here with another Feeding Frenzy for the 4 Spiritual Laws of Prosperity by Edwin Gaines, a simple guide to unlimited abundance. We're still on Chapter 9, and today we are talking about integrity.
Right.
So tell me, what does it mean to be in integrity, to live in integrity?
I think it means to live in your truth, to be who you are, to be authentic, to be real, not to lie, not to cheat, not to put on a mask, not to be something you're not. What do you think?
I think you're right. I think it means, like I believe Edwin describes, to live according to your beliefs. Whatever it is you say you believe, you need to live it. You need to live it, because if you're not, then you're not living in integrity.
Right. It means keeping no secrets and not living behind a wall or whatever. So how are you doing at it?
There's always room for improvement.
Yep, I agree.
There are days when I am able to live in what I consider a good amount of integrity. Of course, that depends on how many people I talk to. Do I leave the house and
Right.
that kind of thing. Then there are other times when I am challenged with my integrity, and I'm just going to be 100% on this. I am challenged, especially when I am learning to live in my truth, and I think that is a practice as well. I really do. I don't think I can automatically shed every mask that I have spent years putting on and
I think we
just
get in the
be
habit
there.
of having those masks on.
Yes.
And it becomes a habit so much so that we don't even realize we have those masks on. And I think those masks change depending on who we're around.
Yes. Yes.
And boy, a lot of things she said in here today really hit me. I don't know if it's where I'm at right now or it's just a truth I needed to hear. Yeah.
You're a firewalker.
Yeah.
I'm a firewalker. And she has said several times, Edwina has said several times, that you walk on fire like you walk through life. And I believe she credits Tolly Burkan, who is the founder of firewalking in the United States, with that. Do you believe that to be true?
That you walk on fire the way you walk through life?
Yes.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
And what do you think she meant by that?
I mean, if you just head through it like a bulldozer, then that's the way you head through life. If you stop and think it through and contemplate the pros and the cons, then that's the way you do life too, And she stands there with her hand out so that you can take it and have support. And I think I learned in one of the fire walks, normally I don't hold her hand. I just go right through it, and that's the way I do most everything. I don't ask for help. I don't ask for support. I don't look for that. And the one time, well, not the one time, I've done it several times since then, but the first time I grabbed her hand for support, it was like a light bulb that said, oh my gosh, that felt so much better to have some contact with someone who knew what I was going through and could help support me across the fire, or at least to make that first step. And it really hit me that that's the way I treat life. I don't feel like I need anybody. I'm too independent, and I'm missing out on a lot of good stuff, a lot of good support that I could be getting. So yeah, I agree with that.
Do you think that we can live in integrity, or consider ourselves living in integrity, if we're only doing it in part of our lives?
Part of the time. So no, not complete integrity, no. And I think anytime we're living one way and living a different way behind closed doors or whatever, then no, we're not in integrity. And it gets harder to keep up those secrets if you're not sharing with the world who you are and what you're up to. It gets hard to keep everything straight as to what you've told who and how you're supposed to act in front of who, whoever you're around. And the most confusing part to me would be if the person I have this mask on shows up at the same time the person I have a different mask on. If they show up in the same place, then what do I do?
Right. Right.
So it's just easier to live in integrity and have the same face to all people, which is the truth.
It is. So why do we find that so difficult to do? If it's easier, why do we find it difficult to do?
Because I think she hit on it there. We don't worry about I forget how she said it, but we don't worry so much about hurting the other person's feelings as we don't want them to not like us. And that was my truth for a long, 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 long time. I am just now getting to the point where I really don't care if people like me or not. You know, I do, but not to the point where I will lie about it.
Feel like you have to cover up your integrity to get there.
I figure if I am my true self and somebody doesn't like that, then that's their issue.
Yeah.
Now, if I change who I am to keep them from not liking me, then that's my problem.
Right.
That's my issue.
Right.
And I think up until, well, and still, even because it is a habit, I still do that in some cases. And I'm a whole lot better at it than I used to be. But I was raised to where I was taught to put on those masks.
Yeah.
And to be something I wasn't.
Yeah.
To keep from hurting other people and to keep up our reputation as a family. You know, nobody wants to think we would do something like that.
Right.
You know, it looks bad to the neighbors, you know, if you're not perfect. And nobody's perfect.
Yeah.
And to let other people see our vulnerabilities and our weaknesses is really a good thing. And I was raised to believe that was the worst thing you could do. Don't let anybody see you sweat.
Yeah.
You know, well, we all sweat, you know, and we all...
How many times did you hear growing up, what would the neighbors think?
Oh, gosh, I can't count them. I mean, literally, I heard that every
Probably
day.
the most ridiculous statement there is.
I heard it every day at my house. I
Yeah.
really did. And at least for a certain period of time, especially as a teenager, you know, when they were trying to keep me...
Keep you in line.
Okay.
And that's usually why it's used, isn't it?
Yeah.
To keep somebody in
Right,
line.
right. And I lived a fake life. I was taught to live a fake life. And that didn't serve me, nor did it serve anyone else, except to keep from embarrassing my relatives who told me that. You know, they didn't want to be embarrassed. That's what it came down to. It had nothing to do with me.
Yeah.
As much as, now, I say that, I believe they thought they were doing the right thing.
Yeah.
And that they were doing the best they could with what they had at the time. So I'm not blaming them, but I am, their motivation, now that I can look back at it, was to protect themselves.
Yes.
It had nothing to do with me.
Yeah.
You know, and they were taught the same thing.
Yeah.
So it's a generational thing that's passed on and on. But we get in those habits, and then they're hard to break.
So how do we start breaking it?
Being more aware, and the affirmations help, because I was thinking this morning, I had a revelation this morning, and I'm trying to remember what it was. I was thinking about religion, and I can't remember what happened to make me think about it, but I thought back to when I was very religious, and things were working for me. And I thought, well, you know, I don't believe the same things I believed then. Why were they working for me then? And it hit me that all religions work if we're truly living what we believe. You know, and back then I was truly living what I believed, and I was being very vocal about it, and I was in that feeling place.
Yes.
And I was manifesting some wonderful things. And the reason I believe now was because I had my feelings involved. I had my whole life involved in it. I was living from my integrity at the time. If I lived that way today, I would be out of integrity because I don't believe the same things I believed back then.
Right.
So I can't act and show myself as who that was back then because I'm not that same person.
Because you're not that person anymore.
Right. But that life worked for me. So does this one, you know? It's all about if I'm living from integrity or not. And if I'm truly living from my beliefs, then I'm getting what I believe in.